Louie Tee. Welcome. You are here in the lab room with your man Louie Tee on Louie Tee Live. Welcome to the program, week 3 of the preseason of the National Football League. Breaking down every single game in week 3 of the preseason. And so, got some Sunday night football tonight. Gonna go ahead and knock this one out and then turn my attention to that Jacksonville Jaguars Cincinnati Bengals game. That will be the nightcapper on a day that has had some really good football for us to view and kind of getting us into the swing of things of what to expect come the regular season. We're just 2 weeks away from having this be the norm on Sunday. So this is really great. This was a good feeling to get this kind of under our belt now. Feet are wet. We're ready to jump in the pool, man. And so we're almost there. But before we get to the breakdown of the New York Giants taking on the New York Jets, you put which one of these teams at home, it doesn't matter. They both play at the same stadium. But we're going to get into this breakdown here in a second. But first, as always, got to make sure that you know how to reach this channel. And if you are new to this channel, first and foremost, welcome. And subscribe to the Louie Tee Network on YouTube. Great content in 2016 and beyond. Already have great content in the archives. Feel free to peruse and look around the video vault already. So please make sure that you also follow me on Twitter. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Also on Facebook, In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Give me one of those thumbs up. Go ahead and like the page. All of my social media platforms right down below. Also, if you want to contact the show, if you have a comment that you would like to have read on the air, if you want to communicate and voice your opinion on this particular game, feel free to do so by using the hashtag LouieTeeLive. You see it scrolling up across the bottom of the screen. In case you forget, use the hashtag LouieTeeLive if you want to address a question or a comment to me and have it read on the air. You can do that via the Facebook page. You can do that via the YouTube discussion chat, or you can do that on Twitter @InTheLabRoom. Again, is the Twitter handle. Hashtag, once again, LouieTeeLive. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the likes, dislikes, and the banana in the tailpipe in this New York Giants, New York Jets football game. Like, dislike, banana in the tailpipe.
What y'all, the second team?
We're the first team.
Yeah, we're not gonna fall for a banana in the tailpipe.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
I'm not going to lie to you. This was a tough watch. No points were scored in this game until right around the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. It was some bad football. From the Jets' defensive standpoint, they were dominant, but it was some bad football on both sides. So it was a tough watch a little bit. I won't lie to you, but I do want to get into this and break this down. And it's a simple concept for those of you who haven't watched one of these videos before. Likes, what I liked from both teams in this game. Dislike, what I disliked from both of these teams. And the banana in the tailpipe is something I'm not falling for, that I may have seen from either one of these teams, albeit good or bad. One of these teams may have done something really well in this game, and I'm saying to myself, that's not really who you are. You're not going to do that all season long. And so that's the banana in the tailpipe. I'm not falling for the oldest trick in the book. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. You're not going to be that type of football team moving forward. Same thing can be said if I see some bad things from that team in this game. Had a bad game. They had an off night, but that's not a great representation of who they are. Not worried about it. That's not who they're going to be moving forward. So let's get to the likes, dislikes, and banana in the tailpipe for the visiting team. Giants wore white jerseys, so we'll go with them as the visitors, okay? So New York Giants, in this game, the likes weren't many. This was another poor showing by the Giants. But the first things first, Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz. You got Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz back on the field. The first time in, we're going on 2 years now. Haven't seen a football field. They said something like 682 days or some craziness like that. Yikes. It was just good to see number 80 running around on the football field. I saw him catch a ball. I said, man, that's just good. He got a nice cheer from the crowd. Good to see Victor Cruz back on the field, man. Damn, it took long enough, but it's good to see 80 back on the field. Now, it's only a matter of time before we see him doing a salsa in the end zone, and that will be a sight to see. That'll be a sight for sore eyes because we haven't seen a nice Victor Cruz salsa in basically 2 full seasons. They forced a fumble of Ryan Fitzpatrick after the special teams had let them down, had given the Jets some prime scoring field position on a block punt. The defense comes out on the field, forces a fumble of Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was very reckless with the football on that particular play. Had time, decided he wanted to get out of the pocket, waited too late to try to get out of the pocket. And Snacks Harrison, an ex-teammate of his, actually was the one who hit him. Jonathan Hankins ended up recovering the football, and the Giants dodged a bullet. No points scored by the Jets there, and the threat was averted. So good job by the Giants defense picking up the special teams unit who had let them down earlier. So I did like that from this Giants team. Remember, revamped defense. And so that was a good sign to see them be able to pick up the special teams after they had made a mistake. And punter Brad Wing, for me, was another like in this game. He did some really good things. Had a punt dive right inside the 5-yard line, right around the 3. He did some good things punting the football. And anytime I'm talking about a punter, usually means your night offensively, not that good. And so, again, the Giants struggled mightily. Saying that they didn't have that good of a night offensively is an understatement. That's me being kind. That's me trying to put a nice bow on an ugly gift, okay? It wasn't a good night offensively for the New York Giants. Hasn't really been that good of a preseason for the Giants offensively, for that matter. Let's go to the dislikes in this game. There are quite a few. Blocked punt, I just talked about that. I just referenced that. You don't want special teams breakdowns, especially this time of the year. Any time of the year for a special teams breakdown is the wrong time of the year. But, I mean, you're in the preseason. I get it. There's some kinks maybe you need to work out. But and guys are trying to make teams, so they're out there busting their ass. So you may get a guy, playing hero ball that gets in and blocks a punt. But that was just poor protection by the Giants. I mean, if the guy that blocked the punt didn't block, there was another guy right behind him was like, hey, if you don't got it, I got it. I mean, it was literally a meeting at the punter, and that can't happen. Can't happen. But it did. A few injuries, actually, to mention for the Giants. And again, come on, man. Damn it with the injuries. I hate injuries. You know how I feel about them at any point in the season, especially the preseason. I want to see guys get to the starting line. I want to see teams get to the starting blocks with all their horses ready to rock and roll. And for the Giants, this was a rough night. Jonathan Casillas, who was playing some good ball, man. I was impressed because I've seen Jonathan Casillas in different stops. I saw him in New Orleans when he was a young pup. I've seen him in Tampa Bay. I've seen him in New England. He was okay. He's an athletic guy, but he looked good, man. He looked like he might have found a home. Same thing I said about Ray Armstrong when I saw him with the 49ers last night. I'm like, is that the same Ray from Oakland? Is that the same Ray from St. Louis when he was with the Rams? Can't be. Looks like a totally different guy. I thought the same way about Jonathan Casillas. I'm like, man, Jonathan Casillas looks like a baller right now. He's playing some good ball, getting in the backfield. Had one hit on Bilal Powell. I want to say it could have been Matt Forte. I want to say it was Bilal Powell, though, where he scooped him up in the pile and drove him back. He's playing good football. He ended up leaving the game with a rib injury. Don't know the extent of it, but anytime you're talking about a linebacker and you're talking about ribs, it's not a real good look for you. And so he went back immediately to the back for x-rays and to be examined. So hopefully he's all right, man. That's a rough injury. John Jerry, for an offensive line that is already a patchwork offensive line, you can't afford any more injuries if you're the Giants. And John Jerry, their right guard, went down in this game. Ankle injury. Good thing for them, though. They just taped it up and he went back into the game. So all was well with John Jerry. But again, you don't want to see any of these offensive linemen down for this Giants football team because they're already in trouble along that offensive line. And then you got Leon Hall, a guy that they just signed about a month ago off the streets. And they needed more of a veteran presence in that secondary at the cornerback position, was looking for a little bit of depth. And they bring in Leon Hall, and he gets a concussion. And they actually said that he was walking to the wrong sidelines. He was actually, after he got the concussion, he was walking to the Jets sidelines, and the official had to turn him around and send him to the correct sidelines, almost like a boxer who was, hit hard enough to the point where his equilibrium was knocked off, and all of a sudden he's in la la land, and he's walking to the wrong corner. So he was concussed pretty bad. And Leon Hall is a guy that has dealt with a number of injuries throughout his career, and so that's not a good sign for a veteran like Leon Hall. So another injury for the Giants in this football game. And the last dislike is the biggest of them all. Outside of the players, you don't want to see any players with injuries, but this is an overall view of what's wrong with the Giants right now, and it's offensive woes and miscues. They had a lot of different things going on in this game, and the offensive woes, it starts with the offensive line. They're not very good right now. They've got guys that are injured. No Justin Pugh in this game, so it's already a patchwork offensive line, and then you take one of the guys that you're counting on to really help you along that offensive line out of the mix, and this is going to make the situation that much worse and exacerbate the problem. But looking at this Giants team, watching this game, there were several things that I noticed that I said to myself, they got to clean this up. And I think right now Ben McAdoo is overwhelmed by the position of head coach. And I talked about this about 2 weeks ago, or matter of fact, last week when I was doing the NFC East breakdown. It's totally different when you're an offensive coordinator and then when you are promoted to head coach. Same thing with defensive coordinator. It's just tough because you go from being in a room with about 4 or 5 guys, if you're an offensive coordinator or you're a quarterback's coach. You go in a room from, being in a room with, 20 guys and circulating from different room to room or whatever, to all of a sudden now you got to be hands-on with all 53 guys on the roster. And in this case, you got 90 on the roster right now. And he said it's all about time management is the biggest thing. And they just look out of sorts. The communication is off. I'll give you an example. There's a play where Eli Manning realizes that it's a blitz. He sees full-out blitz. Jets are coming after him. And so he checks to an audible to let everybody know, hey, this is what's coming. Let's, kind of get everybody on the same page. And he checks. He diagnosed it correctly. I mean, he's Eli Manning. He's been in the leagues, going on 12 years now. Of course, he would know when he sees an all-out blitz coming. And Larry Donnell didn't get the memo. And so Eli's throwing him a quick little hitter to the outside, and he's trying to block. I mean, that's the miscommunication with this team right now. You got another play where the Jets send 2 blitzers or 1 blitzer off the edge to the offense's right side, defense's left side, and the running back is right there. They got enough people to account for it, and Muhammad Wilkerson kind of stunts inside, and both the tackle and the running back go with Muhammad Wilkerson. Nobody picks up the free hitter on the outside. Calvin Pryor comes scot-free off the edge, lights Eli Manning up for a sack. What are you going to do? Miscommunication. Simple little things that they're just not doing right in New York. And then Eli Manning, when you start hitting him, when he starts feeling pressured, he starts throwing no-look passes. And so right now, they're out of sync. A couple of passes that he threw to Odell Beckham Jr., he was going to get him lit up by Calvin Pryor, the Louisville Slugger. And so Odell said, hey, business decision. This is the preseason. I'm not getting lit up. So Odell didn't even go after the football a couple of times. One down the sideline, one over the middle of the field. And so right now, it's just these guys aren't on the same page. You got penalties that are hampering this Giants team as well. You can't afford those false start penalties. I watched them, and this is my last thing, and then we're going to move on. I watched them send a guy in motion. Eli sends the tight end in motion, and he comes over from the right side of the formation to the left side of the formation, and he lines up on the line of scrimmage. Both of the receivers were on the line of scrimmage. Only one of them comes off the line of scrimmage. The other stays on. Of course, you're covering up the tight end. That's an illegal formation. They throw the flag. That was a third down. They had actually, if I'm not mistaken, had converted the third down, but it didn't matter anyway. They had a penalty, and that's what I'm talking about. This team right now, they're just not doing the little things. In addition to having issues along the offensive line, not being able to run the football, the Jets were constantly in the backfield, dominating them at the line of scrimmage. It's all bad for them. And then not to mention Eli Manning throwing. And again, when he gets into this mode where he's throwing no-look passes, you'll get some that just get airmailed. And that pick to Revis, he wasn't even close. Okay, receiver didn't have a shot at catching that football. Football went right to Revis as if it had a tracking device in it. And so they're just struggling right now offensively. It did not look good. And you know how it is when you struggle offensively in the third preseason game. The coach wants to see you for another possession into the third quarter. Well, they didn't do anything on that possession either. So it's all bad for the Giants offensively right now. Let's get to the banana in the tailpipe. For me, it's offensive ineptitude. You'd be a damn fool if you think this is what the Giants are going to look when the season starts, okay? Yeah, Ben McAdoo may be a little overwhelmed right now, but the one thing Ben McAdoo does know is offense. And they're going to fix this, okay? The one thing I noticed in this game, not a lot of quick passes. Ben McAdoo, his biggest strength is the short passing game. It's what he thrives off of. It's why Eli Manning has been so successful, because you don't get a chance to come after Eli Manning. You don't get a chance to hit him as often because they're getting the football out. Hitches and slants and bubbles and those type of things, short crossers, speed outs, anything to get the football out of Eli Manning's hands quickly and disrupt the timing of the pass rush. I didn't see that. I saw long developing routes. I saw a lot of combination routes. I saw a lot of them trying to hold on to the ball against an aggressive Jets defense when their offensive line isn't equipped to deal with that right now. You're not going to see that when the regular season starts. And I think that was a byproduct of them just saying to themselves, we're not going to show anything. We're not going to put anything on tape. We're not going to show what we're going to do when the season starts. I expect much more fluidity out of this offense, whether their offensive line is in tip-top shape or not. I expect Eli Manning to get the football out of his hands much, much faster once the regular season starts. So I'm not buying them. I'm not going for the banana in the tailpipe of this offensive ineptitude that I saw in this game. The Giants aren't going to be this bad offensively when the season starts. I assure you of that. You can count on this, okay? If I'm wrong, come back and find me and tell me I was wrong. I guarantee you against the Cowboys, they may not win the game. I don't know if they're going to win the game or not. They're on the road. They're not going to look like this. Take my word for it. All right, let's go to the Jets. Likes in this game for the New York Jets. Special teams contribution. They got a block punt early in this ball game. Anytime you get anything from your special teams, it's a added bonus. And so that was a big play for them at the time in the game. Early on, you're thinking this could be a spark, get them some points on the scoreboard. They were in prime position to score. And because of the Ryan Fitzpatrick fumble, they got nothing out of this, which is unfortunate, but not any fault of the special teams. They did their job, put this offense in a position to score some points. And the next like is the biggest like. Defensive dominance. That's what this was in this game. They dominated the line of scrimmage. They created the line of scrimmage. Wherever they said the line of scrimmage was is where the line of scrimmage was. They were playing on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. They were in the backfield consistently. There was no run game for which to speak of for the Giants because they dominated. Muhammad Wilkerson is a man amongst boys. Good to see him back. It's like he never left. I mean, he made the first play of the game, the first defensive snap for the Jets, first offensive snap for the Giants of the game. Muhammad Wilkerson is in the backfield making a tackle for a loss. I mean, he was ready to go. And the rest of that defensive line and the linebackers followed suit. They dominated up front. They got after Eli Manning. They sacked Eli Manning. They rushed Eli Manning. Calvin Pryor just seemed ubiquitous in this game. He was everywhere. I mean, a couple of times, Odell Beckham realized, that's probably not going to be the smart thing for me to do is try to go after this ball and take this shot from Calvin Pryor. Pryor's blitzing. He's in the flats covering guys. He was everywhere, man. They just dominated this game defensively. Bottom line is they dominated this game 6 ways to Sunday. Let's go to the dislikes. Fitz fumbling the football. Can't happen. They're not good enough offensively, not good enough as a football team for him to be fumbling the football. The special teams gave you prime position. Worst case scenario, you need to come away with a field goal there. And that's the problem. That's the dilemma you run into with Ryan Fitzpatrick is that he doesn't value the football enough for me. You know, he was really reckless with the football on that fumble. He didn't get hit. He didn't get plastered. Essentially a lineman fell into him, and he had the ball recklessly and loosely, and he fumbled it. And they lost an opportunity to get points. That can't happen. David Harris, injury to his shoulder. He's supposed to be evaluated today. I hope it's not a big injury for him because They need David Harris. He's one of the leaders of that team. Hell, leaders of that defense, leaders of the team. He's probably the longest tenured Jet at this point, if I had to guess. I could be wrong. Could be somebody along the offensive line like a Nick Mangold. But if it's not David Harris, he's got to be up there as the second or the third longest tenured Jet. He's been with them for quite some time, and he continues to produce at a very high level. And it sucks because he was really close to being out of the game. Literally, that injury happened on the second to last play of the first half. The first team defense was gone after halftime. So he literally was 2 plays away from getting to the sidelines and being ready for week 1. And now he's having to deal with a shoulder injury. So that really sucks. It really does. And again, you know how I feel about injuries. And that just is so unfortunate for David Harris. My banana in the tailpipe for the Jets is that Ryan Fitzpatrick will be fine. I mean, I think the assumption in New York is, hey, if Fitz misses all of OTAs and mini camps, as long as he's here for training camp, we'll be fine. And he's not going to be fine. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick. I keep saying that. Nobody's listening to me. I keep saying that, but nobody's listening. He hasn't looked good this preseason, okay? We played against them 2 weeks ago. Redskins played the Jets. He looked horrible in that game. Couldn't complete a pass. He was high. He was errant. He wasn't that much better in this game. Did have the nice back shoulder throw to Decker for the touchdown right before the half, but he didn't look good in this game, man. And look, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have much confidence in this Jets team offensively this year. I like Matt Forte, but I'm not a Ryan Fitzpatrick dude. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is a solid stopgap quarterback, but he's not a guy that's going to consistently win you ball games. They really had some success last year, but they won some close games. The ball bounced their way a few times. I just don't see them repeating what they did last year, and I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick will be just fine, you know? So we'll find out, but that's my banana in the tailpipe. I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be great this year and do what he did for them last year, this season, and have them in a position to make the postseason. I'm not buying it. I'm not going for the banana in the tailpipe. The Jets are giving me this vibe that everything's all good, and I'm just like, nah, bro, I don't think it's all good. So we'll see. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. So I'm going to check Twitter quickly, and then if there's nothing there, I'm going to check YouTube, and if there's nothing there, then I'm going to roll. Okay? So let's check Twitter quickly and see if we have anything there to discuss. And if we don't, I see some comments over here on the chat discussion on YouTube, so I'll get to that in a second. Yep. Okay, so nothing there. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this YouTube chat quickly and see what everybody's saying. All right, so first things first. Andrew Kim says, which New York team has the best chance for the playoffs? To me, it's the New York Giants because they play in a division that right now has no clear-cut winner. No team is decisively better than the rest, even though, you know, you can make a case for the Redskins. I'm not going to make a case, and that's my football team. So I think that's an open division there. The NFC, while it is a top-heavy conference, I think there could be some parity at the back end of that conference. We'll see. You know, I assume the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings are going to be pretty good teams. I assume the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals are going to be really good football teams. So if you assume that, maybe there isn't going to be any parity, because if you're taking two teams from two different divisions, that means only the division winners from the other two divisions are getting in. So, yeah, if the Giants win the division, they get in, and they got a shot to win the division. I don't think the Jets have a chance to win the AFC East, even though without Brady, I think the Patriots are going to struggle. Still Tom Brady, and when he comes back, he's going to start wrecking stuff, and they're going to win football games, and I don't think the Jets are going to be out far enough to the point to where the Patriots can't catch them. And so I don't think the Jets are going to make the playoffs. And I've already said this, and I'll repeat it again because I keep saying this. Any team led by Ryan Fitzpatrick as their starting quarterback is not allowed to make the playoffs. It's in the NFL rule books. If you want to go check it out, knock yourself out. It's in there, though. Trust me, they're not making it to the playoffs. The Cruise in 26 says, thanks for sitting through that. I know it was difficult to watch. Yeah, man, it was rough. I ain't going to lie to you. That was tough, man. That was an ugly football game. And I've watched some rough ones this weekend. I've watched some really good ones. And to go from what I've been treated to today with the the Vikings and the Chargers, which I thought was a well-played football game in the first half. And then the second game, Arizona and Houston with a bunch of fireworks in that game. To go to that, yeah, that one was tough to stomach. But this is what I do, man. You got to take the good with the bad. All of them aren't going to be great to watch, so I don't mind. See what else we got. Leo Cease says, one of the few positives for the Giants that you missed was the play of Eli Apple. Yes, I'm glad, and I meant to put him on my good list, actually. I'm glad you brought that up. Was matched up one-on-one with Decker a couple times, held his own. You are absolutely correct, and that is a big miss on my part. I meant to put him, I was cooking and watching the game at the same time. I'm horrible at multitasking. I can't do it, and I shouldn't have tried, but I meant to write that down. Eli Apple, one time I thought he actually got away with pass interference, kind of, sort of, but then I was like, you know what? I looked at the replay. Decker was kind of, trying to throw him out of the way, and he looked for the ball. That was the biggest thing. Down the field, he looked to find and locate the ball, which I thought he failed to do at times at Ohio State. He actually looked for the football, and I think that's why the official decided to keep the hanky in his pants. I thought he looked good. He had another play on a slant where he came from behind and knocked the football down. I thought Eli Apple looked damn good. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Leo. I thought he played well, and I was surprised. I'm not going to lie to you because I'm like, he's going to take a little while to develop, and he looked comfortable out there. Now, I'm not saying that's what he's going to do moving forward, but yeah, Eli Apple looked pretty good. I must say, he damn sure did. I did forget to mention that. I'm glad you brought that up. That's why you guys need to watch and chime in. Good looking out, Leo. The Cruising 26 says, I thought the Giants defense looked good. What's your opinion on Eli Apple? I thought he did a good job on Decker. I pretty much covered that. I thought the G-Men defense was okay. I didn't think it was great necessarily. I thought they held their own. Ryan Fitzpatrick is Ryan Fitzpatrick. There was no Brandon Marshall out there, so you didn't get the full effect of them offensively. I thought they were okay. I wasn't overly impressed with what I saw, but it was okay. I mean, it was... The offensive execution by both teams was so poor that it was really hard to give anybody that much credit. You know what I mean? Overall. The Cruising 26 asks the following. The Giants and the Washington Redskins might have the two worst running games in all of the NFL. Speaking for yourself, man. I'm not ready to pronounce our running game dead, but yeah, we're not that good. I will admit that. You guys look pretty bad, though. We played against the Jets last week. Now, granted, we didn't have to deal with Muhammad Wilkerson, which is a totally different ball game because he literally was the one busting stuff up. Him and my man out of USC, Leonard Williams, they were busting stuff up, man. We didn't have to deal with Muhammad Wilkerson last week, so I can't even really equate what we had to what you guys had to deal with because Muhammad Wilkerson makes a difference. Big, 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 big difference. And we didn't have to deal with him last week. Walter Hannett says, do you think the Giants' free agent acquisitions will actually pan out? I do. I think Janoris Jenkins is okay. He's not great. I don't think it's a bad signing. I just think they overpaid for him. So let me get that straight. I don't want to confuse my viewpoints on Janoris Jenkins for me thinking that he's a bum. He's not. He's a solid corner in this league, but he got paid elite corner money, and he's not an elite corner. That's all I'm trying to say about him. As for Harrison, you already seen him pay dividends in this game. He got a sack, forced a fumble. He's going to help you stop the run. You're going to get your money's worth out of him. And as far as Olivier Vernon is concerned, first play of the game, he was in the backfield tackling the running back for no gain, 1 yard loss. He's a young, up-and-coming defensive end. I think you overpaid for him slightly, but again, I think you're paying for what he's going to be in the future. You're not paying for what he's done in the past, which I don't have a problem with. He's in the prime of his career. He's only going to get better. That's your assumption. And I think he's going to get better. And I actually like that signing. So I do think they're going to pan out. I just think it's going to take a while for this defense to gel as a unit. That's what I think. I know a lot of people, when you make these kinds of moves, a lot of people like to think, oh, yeah, they're going to be really good, really fast. It takes time. And I just think that's what's going to be one of the issues they're going to have to deal with this year is just knowing that they're going to have to gel together. And we'll see how long that takes. See what else we got. Anthony N says, Collins has looked great. Abs improved, playing his right position now. Oh, strong safety. Okay, I got you. I got you. So He's talking about Landon Collins playing the safety position, strong safety instead of free safety. He's definitely more naturally a strong safety. But again, in the NFL, the way that it's constructed now, safety's got to be interchangeable. You got to be able to play free and strong, come down in the box, be able to drop 30 yards away from the line of scrimmage and make a play on the football. You got to be able to do both. I think he can do both, but he's more naturally fit and built to be around the line of scrimmage, in the hook zones, attacking the line of scrimmage, using him as a blitzer if necessary. He's more of that type of guy than the guy that you want trying to make a play on the ball, as we saw against the New England Patriots last year in a game that you should have won. Let's go to RG3, hashtag smoking that 3, hashtag 1000, hashtag dog pound, hashtag 1716 MVP. Wow, that was a long name. Thompson and Collins safety look deep. Yeah, well, Thompson didn't play in this game, but you know how I feel about Darian Thompson. I talked about him. What is his name? It's not Darian Thompson. Thompson from Boise State. I can't remember his name, but I think the safety position is fine in New York, is basically what I'm trying to say. They got some really solid safeties, and think they're going to be just fine in the secondary. Eli Apple looked good, and he surprised me. And if he continues to play that way, and then you get Janoris Jenkins playing solid ball on the other side, and then you got Collins, and then you got Thompson, I think you're going to be fine at the safety position. I think you're going to be fine in the secondary. And if you can get pressure up front, the linebackers aren't the greatest, but you can hide those guys if you get the play out of the defensive line that you're looking for. So we'll see what happens with the New York Giants. And that's the last comment. And so that'll do it for the New York Giants and the New York Jets in week 3 of the preseason. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League, as I continue to run down every single game on the slate in week 3 of the preseason. Gonna go ahead, watch this Cincinnati Bengals and Jacksonville Jaguars football game, and then I'll come back and break that game down as well. I'll see you in a little while. Have a good one. Oh yeah, don't forget, we're changing the game. 1 live feed at a time. See you in a little while.